Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching How to Get Away with Murder, Season 6, Episode 13, What If Sam Wasn't the Bad Guy? And I'm afraid to say Sam is the bad guy. Maybe he's not, like, the root of all evil, but I mean, he's still got Frank to kill Lila and he was still cheating on his wife, you know? Sam is not a good guy, but I suppose if there's something that whatever Vivian knows might suggest that maybe he's not quite as cut and dry evil as we thought, but we will find out. This episode should have been on last week. Stupid NFL draft. Who cares? I think that's what it was that delayed it. But I have been waiting. We've all been waiting so long for this episode. Just a quick note, I do not know if my camera is going to pick it up at all, but there has been a lot of like intermittent thunder and we had a massive hailstorm earlier. So if you hear any strange background noises, there is not an alien attack going on in England. It is just weather. So yeah, I need to know what's going to happen with these lovely characters. Let's go. My stress levels have already risen through the roof, and it was just the previous week.
Already knew we were the informants.
How?
It was obvious. Yeah.
That's what she called Connor.
So you want to stay with your current deal?
Yes, of course.
No.
Why?
Oh God.
You violated the...
Everything you wanted.
I am very
I know
stressed.
you didn't tell her other means providing additional testimony.
We've already told you
God.
everything we know, and you don't have a case without us.
This isn't your decision, Michaela.
She's going to tell them what to say?
Charge you with everything. Are you ready to hear our new ask?
This is manipulation of witnesses and like coercion, and I don't like it.
She doesn't know about Gabriel. And the last thing
I love how they find a way to get Sam into every season.
we built trust.
I don't trust you.
I'm telling you the truth now.
She's trusting you.
This has nothing to do with her. It's you, Viv.
Sam is not a good person. He may not be the bad guy, but he is a bad guy.
Even now.
Think about how Sam always used sex to get what he wanted. I'm guessing he did the same. Who was Sam closest to his whole life?
He trying to say they were incestuous.
And when their parents ignored them their whole childhood, left them to fend for themselves.
It's motel time.
In each other.
This is a twist.
It's probably the FBI. This is all over. I don't gotta be this guy anymore.
Is it ever going to be over? I mean, it will be over in like a few episodes. 2 episodes. Oh my God.
You just want to make sure you have me locked down first.
No.
That's how men operate.
When was this?
Last
Did
week.
this just happen?
We were broken before
No,
that.
stay
Viv.
there. All this stuff about loving me.
Out of it. It's. Maybe it's.
Do you know what? You should have gone into intensive therapy and left women alone. Or just moved house.
Is that why you...
Let me be in both your lives.
They don't need to be in your, have you in their lives just to make you feel better.
She's obsessing her entire life over her brother. How's the saying go? Incest is best, put your brother to the test.
She did say that, that's true.
I have nothing left to
What
give
has this, how does this help the case? Are we going to pin it all on Hannah? I'm very confused about how this is going to help us.
And started this whole conspiracy against
Oh, of
me.
course, yes, she's the one that triggered it, so if she's just a crazy incestuous brother.
Go to Xavier and get him to admit that he's been talking to Hannah.
Oh dear, they haven't told me yet.
What?
Where are Connor and Michaela? I'm stressed by everyone. What is Nate's plan?
She thinks I killed her lover.
Like spreading the juicy gossip.
Is this full of lies?
Lies.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Need more time to think.
I don't know. Ugh. So like, is this FBI agent dirty, or is he just desperate to get Annalise, which is being dirty, but
Because
like...
I thought we could fix this in good faith.
I just want every one of these characters to make it out alive and get away with murder. I know it's hard, sweetheart, but you do need to let Sam go.
If Sam would have stayed with you,
You'd be a lot more screwed up,
where the
probably,
three of
yeah.
us would be.
We're both lucky he left.
Yep.
There's just some people you can't say. Is this Frank?
Creepy voicemails don't work when they figure out who you are.
It's not right for her.
Well, who's right for her beside you?
Excuse me.
It's what he seems like. Possessive behaviour. The thing is, having a sad backstory doesn't make Sam a good guy.
Just stop leaving your blood everywhere.
Oh God, his blood's gonna be...
Vivian's not crazy.
That's gonna be relevant to something, right?
We need proof of her and Sam.
And how the hell do we get that?
Yeah.
What about my Aunt Bev?
Hannah confessed to incest.
Okay.
We can put a deadline on this, Connor. Would that help you make a decision?
Oh no, it wouldn't. I don't like this. Leave him alone.
Me not talking is...
We can add your husband as a co-defendant.
This is so wrong!
Trespass and hacking, cyber fraud,
This is
breach of
abusing
privacy,
witnesses and,
forgery,
like,
criminal mischief.
this is exactly what Annalise said it was, coercion of witnesses.
I'm gonna work to expose you as the corrupt agent who disgraced the FBI.
He's being corrupt right now.
This isn't who you are.
I'm so stressed.
Exact same time.
Ooh. So we need to know whether or not this agent's dirty as well.
We got a corrupt agent working for the Castillos.
You do? And the governor. But is he dirty as well? Everyone's accusing him of being dirty. He's trying to coerce some witnesses.
Offer clean as you claim. Looking at Pollock.
This guy, if he is clean, he's take a real look at himself. And his methods.
Her mom knew he took money from people.
This is like... See, Sam was a bad guy. Through and through.
You like her?
The girl I first met would have never even let herself think about a relationship or love.
It was a big step.
Because that's the hardest
Bonnie
part.
wasn't a murderer at this stage.
Believing you deserve it.
Yeah.
I found nothing.
But it's hardly going to be
Does that
concrete
say anything to you?
evidence.
But there's a really good chance none of this is true.
And even if it is true, there's not, like, proof.
That's because he was us.
It doesn't excuse the Lila murder and all that sort of stuff, all the cheating and...
There's ashes. I thought we could.
I don't want any part of it.
Why?
Because she's grieving and people do strange things when they're grieving. They don't process everything and...
You're perfect as always.
I'm a mess. And apparently
This
that's why
marriage
you
did
fell in love
not...
with me and
was
I
not good
can't
for either of them, but...
What if there are things that you can't accept, Annie?
You know all about her past.
You hate me?
I'm the one who's ruined. Okay?
This is like... We never saw any of this sort of stuff from Sam throughout all the other seasons.
And now
But it doesn't excuse telling someone to murder Lila and everything. And sleeping with a student and all that sort of stuff.
I'm afraid to get back to life we had.
And Lisa's had the hardest life and so many hurdles to overcome and she's straight in the middle of it now.
Do it alone.
You could have sought help. Like people sought help with him.
None of this makes it what he did, okay?
Nope.
I know.
Changes how you look back on things though.
And I don't know what to do with that.
You probably could have been honest with Annalise. I mean, if you're married, you probably should tell someone that, especially if you know all of their deep, dark corners. Is he really going to leave?
less than when I came. You made me me.
Is this going to be like goodbye to Gabriel's character, or is he going to be back? 'Cause there's not many episodes left in this show. Are they going to leave and be safe and free? Are they going to die? Please don't die.
I mean, why did she miss 83 days of school in her senior year?
Mono.
They had a
Doctors are
baby.
terrified.
She had
That's all
Sam's
right.
baby.
Lying about what?
What was
There's
her
a nice
favorite?
little incest baby out there that will prove that they were sleeping together. That would also explain Sam's desperate craze to be a father. Alright, so did they sign their
I
deals?
don't know how hard it was to keep your original deals. It just shows how tough you
Did
both
they?
are.
Are they lying
I
about
feel like
that?
ass.
I'm proud of us.
So Connor agreed to it. Connor changed his deal. He's agreed to lie to more stuff to protect Oliver. Tell him, my love.
Signed a new deal.
Oh, I knew it, but they threatened
Okay.
Oliver.
Thanks, Lou.
Who do they know that was born then? Who do they know that was born then?
Who was born in March, Annalise?
Bonnie?
Hey,
Frank? Frank, is that why? Oh my goodness. Is Frank Sam's kid? Because that could explain why she wanted him out of jail and everything, or...
What if
Or
Sam
Bonnie.
wasn't the bad guy? This whole time.
He was.
of course you was.
That's why she's also a murderer, so...
Tested against her husband, Sam Keating, deceased.
That's why
DNA is on
that
file
we
for
saw
murder
him
investigation.
putting his
Leave this on a rush.
blood into the bin.
We are
Pollock's been
Ooh.
in direct contact with the Castillos for nearly a
So this
year.
guy's actually not super dirty, he's just a bit like bad with how he treats witnesses. Or they're throwing her under the bus and he's still dirty.
I don't know.
I have proof the hen and Sam slept together.
It's Frank!
What?
Frank! And that explains why they got him out of prison and all that sort of stuff.
Frank.
This is a crazy twist. I love this show. Oh dear. It would not be How to Get Away with Murder if there were not some crazy twists thrown in on the way. Oh, I just noticed the light on my face. It got bright outside. I'm sorry, I hadn't closed my curtain all the way, my blind. Oh my goodness. Ugh. I mean, the whole incest thing is kind of out of nowhere, but then at the same time, it isn't, because in season 1, Annalise was like, oh, you know, test your brother or whatever. Like, you know, she incest, put your brother to the test. Like, she kind of implied it, and Hannah has always been weird. And it does change Sam a little bit, you know, seeing that he wasn't just a perpetrator of abuse, but that he was always also a victim of abuse does alter your opinion of Sam. It maybe explains part of why he was so messed up. But plenty of people suffer awful abuse and don't become mass cheating murderers. And I think as well, given that he was someone that became a therapist, you'd think maybe, like, I feel like all therapists have to have therapy, don't they? I feel like I've seen that in other shows, or maybe even in this one. And so, like, you think that he could have maybe, another therapist would have picked up on the vibes, or that maybe he could have talked about it, but I suppose he just had so much internalized shame. And yeah, this is a big, I mean, the fact that it's Frank is crazy, like genuinely crazy. And it's something that, one of those twists that I want to know if the writers have always had that twist in mind, like when they were writing season 1 and when they were writing the flashback where, like, we saw how they got Sam out of prison, etc., and we saw Hannah. Have they always known that? Like, I assume Sam knew who Frank was, like that Sam knew Frank was his kid, and that so did Hannah, or did they, like, did the parents just give the baby away and then a sort of friendly family magically got a son? That is such a good twist, like a crazy twist. And in a way, Frank, as evil as he is, or not, he's not evil, but as messed up as he is and as willing to commit murder as he is and like to rough people up and everything, his family has been a really strong point for him. You know, he's like, when he took Laurel to meet them, he wanted to take Bonnie. You know, he's got that huge family that he feels such a part of, and he is still there. They are still his family. I mean, I know he put his dad in a wheelchair, didn't he, when he got angry, or crashed a car? I can't even quite remember whatever he did, but you know, like, he's got a messed up relationship with his family, but he does love them dearly, and they are still his family, because the people that raise you are your family, whether they are biological or not. If they love you, they're your family, and like, you can find your family in later life. But that is such a twist. And so Frank's tip about Annalise killed his little brother. Gabriel is his little brother as well. Like, that is crazy. Like, I don't want Gabriel to be leaving now because he's got a brother. Oh, his brother's threatened to kill him a few times. I mean, genuinely, this is a total twist that makes you want to go back and rewatch the show and just be like, oh my god, all the different dynamics it creates. So yeah, I love How to Get Away with Murder because this has always been a show with its ridiculous twist. And I called them ridiculous twists in the sense that it's actually not ridiculous. Like I said, there are seeds planted throughout the show. It explains why they wanted to get Frank out of prison so badly, it explains why he was so insistent, and it explains a lot of things. But at the same time, you're like, where did that come from? I mean, it's How to Get Away with Murder at its best. You know, it's right up there, in my opinion, with Why Is Your Penis on a Dead Girl's Phone, which was like the best ending of any episode ever. So yeah, I enjoyed that twist a lot. And kind of, yeah, like I said, it does make sense. So I wonder, is that going to in any way alter Bonnie's opinion of Frank? I mean, she has such a messed up past with Sam. I know that I don't think they ever did anything more than that, like one kiss, but she was like in love with him. And I mean, he was just a very weird therapist who like take advantage of his patients and sort of have an unhealthy bond with them. But is that going to make her question her choices with Sam, with Frank now? I am just, oh my goodness, like that's such a twist and I love it. But yeah, I mean, oh my goodness. So then we have the, like with Sam, I don't know if I finished my thought. My thought basically was that it does sort of provide context for Sam. It explains why he is the way he is. But at the same time, it doesn't excuse it in any way. You know, it doesn't excuse all the cheating he did. It doesn't excuse the way he treated women or the way he used sex as a weapon, especially becoming a psychologist, a therapist. He would understand the psychology of why he was doing what he was doing, and yet he just did it anyway. It explains, again, his desperation to have a child, because not only does he want to fix the mistakes he did, but he wants to be there for, you know, he wasn't there for his first kid, he wasn't there for his second kid, and then his third kid died. He has made a lot of sons, but yeah, that is such a twist. Like, I genuinely want to rewatch the whole show right now with that in mind. And I'm just, where is it going to go next? So that was episode 13, and there's only 15 episodes in the season, right? So we've got 2 episodes left of How to Get Away with Murder. I am not okay with that. So yeah, it doesn't explain Sam, but it doesn't excuse it. And you know, the whole situation with Lila, I mean, Lila was pregnant with his baby. You'd have thought he would have wanted to ditch Annalise and be with her. Okay, he'd have to like resign from teaching, but you know, he was willing with having that baby killed. So I don't know, you know, clearly by that point I think Sam had become an even more warped person than he was. You know, I think by the time the whole Lila situation happened, he was an even worse person than he was when he was just a man that liked to cheat on his wives. And he was a bad therapist, like the way he like abused the trust of his patients, like even telling Frank all about Bonnie, you know, as a therapist, that is the last thing you should be doing. But yes. Then the other twist would be Nate, well not really a twist, but Nate has a plan. I assume he's going to somehow frame Pollock for killing Xavier. I guess that's what he wants, but we will see where that goes. I'm intrigued about what the rest of his plan is. Again, there's only 2 episodes, and is he going to try and protect all of the people that have been involved all along the way, like all the characters, or is he going to be willing to, you know, throw some of them under the bus or whatever? But he has got proof that Pollock, now is it Agent Langford? I don't really know, but the main agent, I'll call him Langford if that's not his name, I'm sorry. Is he dirty or not? Because obviously he's found proof that Pollock, well, he's accepted the proof and he's found proof that Pollock was dirty, but in a way, if an underling got caught, then you'd throw them under the bus and then the superior would stay dirty. Now, I'm not 100% sure that he's not dirty. I mean, especially given that Michaela said, oh yeah, we agreed to sign to one lie, I'm not agreeing to all of these, then, you know, even if he'd been fooling himself into thinking the whole time that the thing about Sam wasn't a lie, he now knows it was, but he still let them keep their deals. And in the same way, you know, with Connor, who was just like, I don't care, Nick, I know you're dirty. Like outright calling him a dirty FBI agent, a corrupt FBI agent, and yet he was like, well, you say that, I'm going to threaten to arrest your husband. Because if, as a righteous FBI agent, he genuinely thinks he has proof that Oliver has committed crimes, he should just arrest him. But at the same time, he couldn't care less about that because he just wants to get Annalise. And why does he want to get Annalise? So this is building up crazily. And yeah. And yes, that means Sam. So I was thinking Sam got his kid to kill his kid by killing Lila. Unless Sam didn't actually know about Frank, but Hannah did, and that's why Hannah pushed for it. Did Hannah and Frank interact in season 1? I just need to know if they knew he was there, like if they knew where the baby went, or if they just knew that they had a baby and he went somewhere. But back to the deals. You know, I don't blame Connor. Again, I've never blamed Connor and Michaela for signing their deal. I think, given that it's like a death penalty case or whatever, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens if we get to the trial, when we get to the trial. I guess the show will show us the trial because, you know, well, there's only 2 episodes left. But anyway, I feel like it's going to be interesting what they do and how they do it then. But to an extent, all of us want to save our own skins. We all want to save ourselves. I mean, Annalise betrayed them last episode. She put them in this position they're in now, where they're now being manipulated into lying for even more for her in Connor's case. And also, Annalise did run away. You know, the only reason she didn't get in that car when she was running away was because she suddenly doubted them and didn't trust them, I think. She wasn't like deciding to go back. So that being said, Annalise kind of betrayed them all by leaving. Now again, I don't blame her for that either. I blame none of them for what they've done, but anyone that is hating on Connor and Michaela for this, no. And I think Connor especially, he loves Oliver. Like, Oliver is his life. And the thought of being in prison, you know, I love that he was like, I'm gonna prove that you're dirty, but the thought of going to prison, knowing Oliver was out there safe and having a life, that is what he wants to do. He would do anything to protect Oliver, in the same way that Oliver was willing to confess to killing Asher when he thought that his blow had done it, I guess, and save Connor. So it's just a lot, and I do not blame them for taking the deal. I don't like now that Connor hasn't told Michaela, though I assume given the way it works, like, he was able to protect Michaela as well by signing the deal, because their deal like cover each other. So he's agreeing now to lie about more stuff, but what stuff? I mean, what stuff are they now trying to claim Annalise did that we don't already know about? There's a lot going on here, but I do not blame any of them for signing deals or for whatever they're doing to try and save themselves, but it's going to be really telling when it comes to it in the moment. I mean, if you're sat in the courtroom and Annalise is right there, and you're going to be like, she told us to kill Sam. But what I will say is, Annalise did not tell them to kill Sam, but Annalise told them exactly how to cover up the murder of Sam. She told them to take the body into the woods and cut it up and burn it. And okay, yeah, then she wanted to send it to a tip, but instead of just scatter it in different tips or something across state lines or something along those lines, rather than just in the bins they went for. But Annalise was involved in the night of Sam's death and was involved in the cover-up. You know, she didn't instruct them, okay, like, we'll go to the police together. That would be maybe what this should do, and I'll find you good lawyers, I'll help you through it, Sam, you deserve to die. You know, it was self-defense. That kind of thing would be what you should do in that situation, but Annalise did orchestrate the cover-up of Sam's death. So technically, by the felony murder law or whatever, or conspiracy, she's conspiracy to murder Sam, Annalise is guilty of. But at the same time, I obviously don't want any of them to go down for it. Any of them are guilty. So it's a lie, but it's not like, it's a lie that she convinced them to kill Sam. Obviously, Annalise was just going to frame him or get him, I don't know. And Henry just wanted to prove that he had been involved with Delilah, I think, at that point. But Sam was not a good person. You know, the whole attacking Annalise and everything in that episode. But yeah, this episode, Bonnie is going to be even more screwed up, I feel like, after this. Or just more doubting herself and her decisions. Or Frank is going to have an identity crisis. Potentially. There's only 2 episodes left. Like, there is so much that has to happen. And unless I'm mistaken, there's only 15 episodes in How to Get With Murder season. That was episode 13. How the hell are we going to get away with this? Oh, I'm very stressed. But yeah, I love Connor. And I love that, like, you know, he's still lying to Michaela because he doesn't want to admit to her that, yeah, I signed the deal. Because they're already both feeling terrible about the fact that they signed the first deal. But to protect Oliver, he would do anything. So yeah, 2 episodes left to get away with it. Let's hope we do. Thanks for watching.